Hey guys, hope you enjoy the video. When we left off, Zeno-sama and Daishinkan found out about the god's scheme and punished them for it. By making Whis get all the best fighters from different universes, Whis would tell them, Lord Zeno-sama, many fighters who had ties to those Saiyans are in Universe 7 on the planet Earth, training to beat the gods and free the Saiyans. Do you want me to pick the strongest out of all them to save time? Beerus would look at Whis shocked. Yeah, I'll actually have Daishinkan go with you, bye Whis. And Beerus, you stay with me, Zeno would say. Whis and Daishinkan would teleport to Earth. The Z fighters see them and greet them as Whis has been a good friend and Daishinkan is his father. Hello Whis, greetings Lord Daishinkan, Krillin would say. Greeting them, hello Krillin, so, per Grand Zeno's request, we're here to pick the top 12 strongest fighters to become God of Destruction candidates. Whis would reply to Krillin. The Z fighters would look dumbfounded. And Daishinkan would elaborate saying, the great Zeno-sama found out about the god's plan and have decided to erase them. After assigning new destroyers, the 12 strongest of you guys will become the new ones. You will be gifted a power a few times stronger than your own. And on top of that, you will get destroyer roles and power. So, who are the 12 strongest? The Z fighters would talk amongst themselves, deciding that it would be the quickest way to free the 3 Saiyans and have bigger power to take revenge. Jiren, Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, Trunks, Kale Caulifla, Chilia, Kai, Bulma, Bergamo and Lavender all stepped up, admitting they are the strongs. Great, said Whis, now it's easier to gather you all up. Come on you 12, time to go to Zeno's palace. Then Whis would take them all to the palace. At Zeno's palace, they all would kneel in the presence of Zeno-sama. Great Zeno-sama, these are the 12 strongest. Daishinkan would inform Zeno. Zeno would reply to Daishinkan saying, these are the 12? They're pretty weak. I don't think they'd defeat the 12 gods of destruction. But since this is a special case, instead of doubling your power, I'll Vigentiple it. Vigentiple means multiplying it by 20, by the way. Everyone was shocked. They all accepted it, but Zeno told them it would take 6 weeks to do. Zeno advises them to train their hearts out during those 6 weeks. Because the stronger the better, we would switch to the point of view of the Saiyans. By now, the Saiyans could have bust out already. But they decide to stay inside so they can get strong enough, so that no one can do something like this again. Kakarot and Broly, we are strong, but not strong enough to withstand erasure from Zeno, I'm sure about it. Vegeta would tell the other two, but Vegeta, Zeno is my friend. He wouldn't have. Goku would say, getting cut off. Kakarot, what if Zeno decides to erase us because we are too powerful? We need a way to resist it. And I bet, on the outside, the Super Dragon Balls are still out of commission. So stop with the arguments and hit me with your strongest and hottest Ki Blast. Using all your power, I will stay in my suppressed base form. With a sudden argument from Vegeta that Goku can't rebuttal because it's true. Goku would then follow Vegeta's orders, as he would go to his Omni Super Saiyan 1000 Limit Breaker Kaioken 1,000,000 form, and blasts Vegeta with a Kamehameha that almost disintegrated Vegeta, and almost broke out of the staff, but with Broly making a barrier around them, it was contained and Goku stopped before he erased Vegeta. After a while, Vegeta regenerated and they practiced with this for 6 million more years, each year stopping for a month to train more and use more power for their blasts. We switch to the destroyer candidates. They have already gotten their power boosts and destroyer rolls. And now Zeno would then say, Daishinkan, I'm bored, can we free Goku yet? Not yet my lord. We still gotta make sure Goku's friends and family are permanent destroyers. Wouldn't that be a nice surprise for Goku when he comes back? Daishinkan replied to Zeno. Zeno then says fine. After a while, Zeno thinks it's time to have the new destroyers face off against the old destroyers. Daishinkan would build the arena a few thousand times stronger and bigger than the one in the Tournament of Power. The gods of destructions and the destroyer candidates all step onto the arena. They all wait for Daishinkan to start the match, but the gods were very scared, since their opponents are all stronger than them. Before the match started, Daishinkan had to say there are no rules for this match, which made the gods very happy, while the destroyer candidates Z fighters weren't. Daishinkan started the match, and while the Z fighters rushed in, the destroyers just stayed there. This made the destroyer candidates confused. But they continued to advance. Just then, the destroyers would shout, "Angels, fuse with us!" And the angels would come down and fuse with their corresponding destroyer. The Z fighters felt like it was not fair, but Zeno allowed it cause no rules. The Z fighters would be a little bit worried, but they still fight. The Z fighters try to land even one hit on the fused warriors, but they wouldn't be able to, and they go back to devise a plan. The fused gods would allow them to, as they believe no trick would ever put them on the levels of them, but they were wrong, as before they could react. The Z fighters, now destroyer candidates, would put the fusion earrings on, as 6 warriors would stand there. Looking at the destroyers think to stop them before they could do any more tricks. But they weren't fast enough, as they did the fusion dance, leaving 3 warriors there. The fused destroyers finally get to them and stop them before they could go any further. For fused destroyers would fight every one warrior, but to everyone's surprise, the candidates were blocking their attacks pretty easily. The Xenos would be amazed, as the candidates would parry their attacks pretty easily, even with 12v3. The fused gods would try and fuse together to give them the advantage again, but the 3 warriors would stop them before they could and beat them to the ground. "How? This cannot be possible," the fused destroyer of Belmont and Margarita would say. "Believe it to be possible." The fusion of Gohan, Kai, Jiren and Kale would say. Zeno would stop the match, ready to split apart the fused gods and erase the destroyers. The fusions would all say stop in unison. Zeno would stop, as the fusion of Goten, Trunks, Piccolo, and Bulma would explain. "We want to end them ourselves," they would say. Daishinkan and Zeno would agree, as Daishinkan, with a wave of his hand, would split the fused gods apart and allow the destroyer candidates to kill them. "This is for my father, Goku, Son Goku, Vegeta, my father, Broly, the Saiyans, and everything else," the fused warriors would say, as they send a hole straight through the chests of every destroyer. This would mark the Z fighters as official gods of destruction, as they took their power and unfused. Now, time to get to your corresponding universe and act as official gods of destruction. Daishinkan would say. "Can we have one more day to say goodbye to our friends?" Trunks would ask. The Xenos talk to each other on the topic and say yes in unison, as they were sent to their original universes to tell them goodbye or have a party. We switch to the Saiyans. It's been over 6 million years. About to be 7, and Goku, Vegeta, and Broly are way stronger than Zeno in their base form. Broly is the strongest, Goku in the middle, and Vegeta is the weakest by only a little bit. Although Vegeta knows he's going to get a new form sooner or later, he can just feel it. "Once I unlock this new form, I will be stronger than Kakarot. I may be even stronger than Broly, haha," Vegeta would say, laughing maniacally at the power he knows he could have. Goku and Broly are both weirded out, but it's Vegeta's, so they aren't worried that much. Vegeta wants to spend a few more years in Whis' staff to unlock a new transformation. And Goku and Broly couldn't really care less, but they decide to stay in here and watch, maybe help Vegeta unlock a new transformation. "Alright Vegeta, but if it takes too long, I'm leaving cause right now I'm starving," Goku would say. "You don't even have the need to eat Kakarot," Vegeta would tell it him. "Aw, damn it, that's true." Goku would say, depressed, "I'ma stay here with Vegeta." Broly would say, "He's been really calm over the past few millions of years, although, when it comes to things like Chile, Lemo, or Paragus, he acts way more rash and aggressive than he normally does while training." "Aw, not you," to Broly, Goku would say distraught. "Ugh, guess I'll stay for however long it takes Vegeta to get that transformation of his." Goku would say. We time skip 3 million years later. Well, for the Saiyans. For the Z fighters, it's been over a month. Speaking of Z fighters, we would go to the point of view of the new god of destruction for Universe 7, Trunks. He is training in the Pyramid of Power with Whis. "Thanks for helping me train me, Whis." Trunks would say. "No problem, my lord," Whis would reply. "You don't have to call me that, Whis, just call me Trunks," Trunks would say. "As you wish, Mr. Trunks. Anyway, the Universe 6 destroyer is outside the pyramid waiting for you." Whis would reply, "Oh Gohan, okay, let's go Whis," Trunks would say, "Gohagagagagotentone." They exit the Pyramid of Power and see Gohan and Vado's waiting there for them. "Yo," Goten would say to Trunks. "Sup Goten," Trunks would reply. "I came here to tell you that Mr. Piccolo wants us to meet on Earth. Pan is having her first birthday and Bulla is just turning a few months old." Goten would say to Trunks excited. "Sorry my lords, but you still have a lot of work to do as newer gods of destruction. You have a lot more planets to destroy." Whis would tell them, "AWWW man, you're right. Whis, can't we destroy planets on the way there? You don't have to take us there. We'll fly while taking care of business," Trunks would ask Whis, trying to convince him. "You could, but it could take many days, then all the stops and detours. Not to mention the stuff Lord Goten would have to do in his universe and cross over to this one." Whis would say, "Oh, no Mr. Whis, I took care of a lot of the evil in my first 2 weeks of being a god. There hasn't been evil in over 3 weeks, Goten would say, shocking Whis. "Well, I guess that settles that matter. Still, the travel could take days," Whis would say. "Just tell me all the worlds that need cleansing, and I'll teleport to them right now and destroy the planet," Trunks would say, begging Whis. "Whatever you say, Lord Trunks. Bye, sister," Whis would say, while tapping his staff, teleporting them to the first planet, while filling his head with the others. "Time to get to work," Trunks would say as he enters his Hakiashin form. The form where he loses all sympathy for the population and destroys the planet. After that, Trunks would say, "I will never get used to that," as he teleports him and Whis to the next planet. A few moments later, he is finally ready to go to Earth and see his family and friends. He flies down to Earth very shakily and slow into a chair as he would groan. "Ugh, I'm so tapped out," Trunks would say. "You are quite late, Trunks. The party is almost over," Kai would tell Trunks. "What? Kai, how?" Trunks would yell. "Almost all of us except you, Gohan and Kale finished our duties," Bulma would answer Trunks. "Ha, Mom, you said duties. But that's all for today, guys. See you in the next video. Like and subscribe. Bye."